All right. Welcome.
We're
Good
back.
stuff. We think episode 26. We haven't checked, but it sounds right.
26. The
Biggest number
big
yet.
26.
Same jokes. New material.
At
Oh,
least we're
how's
consistent.
yeah,
How
I've
are
had
we?
a
We good?
very busy week. So I've had both people
You
visiting
have.
and the end of sovereign engineering coming up. So it's been pretty hectic. There's a
Hmm.
couple of people here that I still wanted to get out on a podcast walk or something, and I just haven't yet. So you never know. Maybe I can grab some
Yeah.
like 30 minute or 10 minute. I'll take my microphones, I reckon, later. Maybe I'll get some 20 minute like little stints with a few people. Hmm.
Couple of quick episodes. It's nice.
Yeah.
Well, today might be a quick episode, so there's a lot happening. We're a bit later in the week. We haven't hit our usual Wednesday or
It's
Thursday
getting
release,
tardy. It's getting tardy. Almost like
but that's
soon.
okay.
I think in like two
That's okay.
weeks we'll be back in the van.
Back in the van, back at the beach. Good weather. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you've been getting good
Well,
weather
the weather
anyway, but
looks nice,
I'll have
right?
some good
So
weather.
I
And
checked
yeah.
last night and I was like, nice. Looks like
Oh,
it's
you
a
did.
good welcome home. Sort of spring weather. Warm in the day,
This
cold
is
in the evening. Just save on it.
This is the kind of content you can
Yeah,
only
good point.
get on the good stuff.
What do you want to talk about? How's
The
AI
weather, the
going?
weather checks from like two different. Do you know what? I can't remember when we talked about this. I feel like it might have been last week. It might have been like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't remember, but I said I was
Yeah.
divorcing Claude Code. Well, I didn't divorce Claude Code.
Mm.
I did step down my plan, but then I realized that it's actually pretty good at doing
Mm.
non-coding related stuff. And I feel like maybe this doesn't come as like any great kind of insight to a lot of people that play around with Claude Code, but yeah, I kind of just I used it to completely like reorganize
Mm.
my financial existence. So I basically had receipts, I had transaction data, like I had all sorts of stuff that
Mm.
was just sitting in different places on my computer. And yeah, it just helped me collate all of it into one place, organize it, set up little like um, dashboards to track where my spending is. I spend an ungodly amount on
Yep.
coffee, which we already knew, but when you see the number next to it, you're just like, oh shit, like
Mm.
this is actually quite a lot of money. Um, and yeah, got this like completely streamlined to the point where it was like a very logical next step to just go and prepare
Mm.
my tax for this year. So it's done that as well. And it smashed it out in no time. Like, yeah, I would have, that whole exercise would have been
Mm.
like 10 minutes. And so I was like, okay, what else can I turn this to? I got like a little script written. So I had all sorts of notes written in Apple Notes that you just collect. And like a lot of time, my Apple Notes will just have like little, I don't know, I'll make a note of things that I
Mm.
want to do or need to do at some stage. And then I don't revisit it because it's lost in my Apple Notes. And then I've added another 10 notes
Yeah.
and it's gone forever. But yeah, I just basically was able to extract everything, pull it in via this script, and then um, Claude Code just went through and extracted things that I
Mm.
actually said I was going to do, built a little to-do list for me in a tracker, and then just categorized all of my notes into like a more efficient filing system that I've then just popped into Obsidian because
Mm.
I actually do use Obsidian for like more structured note taking, and Apple Notes is just like the everyday stuff. Like I put a note in there like 2 months ago going,
Mm.
I need to get my car serviced and put like three different places
I
that I
then
was going to look
forgot. Yeah.
into to get it serviced, but just
Classic.
never did. Forgot all about it. Yeah. So it's like it pulled those out and then like I was able to do like a quick search on those three and like check for like Google
Mm.
reviews and stuff like that and this ranked and categorized it for me. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't ask you to do that, but that's good. So now
Yeah.
I need to book in my car service. The next logical step would be if it could book it in for me,
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
cool.
we didn't quite get that far. But yeah, it got me thinking. It's like there's a whole heap of like non-coding applications that you can just play around with, and yeah, it's quite interesting. So another thing that I did was I recently got a this like pretty comprehensive like DNA check done. So it's like 100 pages of all of these different markers. And I was really curious to kind of like be able to sit with this document. I opened up the
Mm.
document, like
Were
I
you human?
understand none of
Like, what
this.
what percentage human
So
did you
I,
manage to make?
yeah, well,
you got over the wall, like over the 20%?
Surprisingly, su-
Okay, cool. Well,
surprisingly, I
nice to know.
passed the test somehow. Um, but it's like, yeah, it's a 100-page document, and I started looking at it, going, well, there's a lot of stuff in here. I don't really know how to interpret it, but then how to take one section of the test and hold that in comparison with another, and how to interpret it meaningfully. Like the main objective was I really wanted to build like a diet that was tailored to whatever was in that test, and I have
Mm.
no idea what was in it. So I used Claude Code for that. It's actually quite good. Um, so yeah, it just got me thinking a lot about like non-coding applications for Claude Code, and I don't quite know why, but it feels like it's more
Mhm.
efficient at doing this stuff than just using the app. And maybe it's just that a bunch of limits are like not being applied to Claude Code in the same way that the app is
I
restricted. I'm not sure, but I just felt like I could run the same experiment through
You
the
mean like
app and
through
it's
like
nowhere
Claude
near as
Desktop?
good.
Yeah. So which also acts
Claude
as a sort
Desktop,
of
yeah.
agent, has the same models, but I think there's
Mm,
the feel I get from it. It's hard to know because it's all hidden from you, right? But I think they put a lot more effort into making it
mm,
terse and quick in every judgment that it makes. And so, but to have like more turns through the loop. So you generally have that agent loop of saying like, okay, well, what do I want to do? What's my plan? What's the next tool that I'll call? Or do I respond? And then iterate. And I think in the desktop, I think they have a similar sort of
yeah.
agent, but it's almost like it's set up to be more interactive. So they say like, think a bit and then just answer. Maybe do a couple of goes around the loop. Whereas Claude Code, I think because it's supposed to sort of run on its own in a CLI, you're not really interacting with it in the
Mm,
same way. You just want to like kick it off and like vaguely monitor it, but not really interfere. It's told to just be like, be quick, give me short updates, and then just do stuff and keep going. So I think it's probably in that sort of system setup that they've just given it that slightly different person. 'Cause it is weird. I know what you mean. Like they act very differently in each of those situations.
mm,
So it clearly is in the
yeah.
application prompts that they're using there. But yeah, that's interesting. I've not really tried it for much outside code. I'm so annoyed at Claude Code these days. Like for
Yeah, I
coding,
know.
it's terrible.
That
Hmm.
that was it. It was more just like a last ditch attempt at trying to
Yeah,
work out if this thing was worth keeping. Because I do find Claude Desktop useful at times. Like
yeah,
it will
yeah.
kind of double as a search engine for me, and if I want to just like bounce around ideas for on on the product side as well,
Mm.
it's quite good at that. So I kind of just
I mean,
downgraded to the $20 a month, and
I
then just was like, what
suspect
else
that
can I
it's going
do
to come back anyway as
with
well,
Claude
right?
Code?
It'll just be within 3 months,
Yeah, I think
Codex
so.
will be crap, Code will be good again. It's just they just go
Yeah,
backwards and forwards. I mean,
completely.
so I mean, I've been doing similar sort of non-coding tasks via Wingman. That's kind of the point of that one, Goose Agent. But
Mm,
I have on my list like
yeah.
a different agent stack that will allow you to then flip between sort of 4 or 5 different agent systems. So you could have it set up with Gemini, with Claude Code, with Goose, with Codex, and everything in the background. I think I might make a
Hmm.
newer version of Wingman that uses that as the sort of brain behind the system, so that when we do, you can like and maybe have like we can abstract away like the recipe type thing, so you can always set up the right MCP servers. You can always set up the right system prompts and everything else to kick stuff off. And I think that would be quite powerful because then you can just
Hmm.
pick and choose like not only the models that you want to use, but which is the best agent system for
Yeah,
my
definitely.
needs right now. So I think, but I think that's like there's a huge one here for like the small business type use case of yeah, you don't necessarily want, you need an agent to be quite flexible. So when I was rebuilding Beacon last week, I talked about it. I was like, for the deep research tasks or anything where I need to look stuff up or do web searches, previous versions I'd kind of had to hard code in different loops for that. Like I'd have different pipelines that would do web searches and different pipelines that would do research, and you had to be a bit more exact about what you were trying to do. Whereas now I just go anything that looks like it's more complex and you can answer straight away, you just give to Wingman. And it just fires up like a Wingman session in the CLI and
Hmm.
answers it. And it will figure out like, okay, do I need to use the web search? Do I need to make a list of stuff. Like, do I need to go and read any web pages? And then it just completes and sends it back. So there's actually like Wingman in the background for Beacon if you start doing complex stuff. But then the beauty of that, then you get access to like
Mm.
all the different MCP tools that you could have. And I haven't really done
Yeah,
much of
exactly.
it. Having like Wingmen
Yeah, I like the
call
sound of it.
Wingmen. So a Wingman call is really just like a local API that I've got available, but I can have that, and the response from Wingman back to Beacon is just a local API call. Like, so again, I just run the two things locally to each other, and that allows me to integrate them nice and easily. But I can also do this where you have a wingman, and his job is to figure out which wingman can help you best. So now you can wingman while you wingman. It's like,
Mm.
okay, well, I'll give you this. I'll give you the list of like API, like the different recipe IDs and what they do, and you just choose which one's going to do it best, and then it will figure out what to do next and respond back to Beacon sort of thing. So this is
Yes.
going to make it very quick and easy to add lots of seemingly complex functionality into something that's just super easy. But again, like I reckon if I can play around with the different AI models and different agent systems for that, you can just get better results. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and finding alignments to different types of tasks where models
Yeah.
perform better across different like task categories would be interesting as well. Like one of the things I've been like really surprised at how good Claude Code's been at is just analyzing data and then being able to like report out key findings across that as well. So I've been using it for like investment decisioning as well. If I want to do comparisons across, two or
Yeah.
three different investment targets. In the past, like what I had done is I just had folders on my MacBook with just a heap of downloads, and like obviously if you pass through those manually yourself, you do obviously want to do the work, but it's just a really good, efficient way of getting across all sorts of disparate data, long form text, financials, and then just being able to spit that out into a report or a memo to get across it quite quickly is good, just top line. And then you can make decisions as to how much deeper you want to go into it. But I also turned this on our like podcast thumbnails as well for titles, and it did a review of like all of our YouTube data to work out like, oh, you've got really good click-through rates, but like definitely some of the text titles that we use in thumbnails like perform way better than others. And so I'm going to start using that as a bit of a guide
Hmm.
to
I
improve
mean,
the
we're definitely
the
not
uh,
going
the
to
thumbnail text
manually
as well. Stuff that
do
we
any
don't
of this
really
stuff because
think
we
about.
don't care, but maybe like it would
No,
be good to have somebody.
it's just like
Yeah,
an
nice.
afterthought mostly.
That's cool.
But that's the thing, you could probably run this on a loop and just
I
yeah,
mean,
get it to
you
keep
certainly see
optimizing this
it with
stuff
like
and
different channels that I would follow where early on the thumbnail is this, and then it's this, and then it stays as this one. And it's
yeah.
kind of clear that they've probably A/B tested a few different thumbnails, figured out which one's working, and then uploaded it. I imagine that's
Yeah.
just built into some software. Some yeah.
You can do it in YouTube,
Okay. Oh,
which
there
I
you
discovered
go.
this
Okay.
week. So you can actually like just add multiple thumbnails
Hmm.
and it
It's
will do the
interesting. I
A/B
probably have
tests.
this like slight
So that's
reticence to
quite
caring too much about YouTube in the sense that I'm like, well, it's interesting. I
yeah,
was
it's
like, the
true.
wife of this, I had a hit post on Primal this week, which I was very proud of. But topped the trending. I was like, yes, I've made it. Like, yeah. I joke to Gigi. It's like I'm almost as famous as you when you say good morning now. It's just,
Yeah.
but it was. I think the wife said, "Oh, maybe you should put it on LinkedIn," and I was like, "Or not." I don't know. I don't think I said for the
No,
subject matter and like what this is. I don't think anybody will
it's not the
care at
place, is it?
all. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I mean, was she saying to repost it on LinkedIn in its current form, or was she saying you should post, I'm proud and thrilled to have hit the 24-hour
nobody
trending
knows. No
on
one knows.
Primal? I reckon the
Probably.
latter would do better on
It's
LinkedIn.
something about how, like, oh, it's been an honor and a privilege to be part of something, and that,
Yep.
like, it's hard when you're doing something new, and something about how somebody else can jump in and say that they're also really passionate about something, something just
Yeah.
horrible that I don't want to do.
I'm thrilled to announce I went viral this week. It's probably the post that will
Good.
perform the best on LinkedIn. Yeah. I think ideally you want to get to a point where you can just
Mm.
like close LinkedIn forever. That would be
What was
that's
interesting
the
was like
objective.
2 days later, like I opened Twitter to look something up, and I realized that somebody else had reposted it on Twitter. It never even occurred to me to post it onto Twitter.
Oh,
It's
really?
like, oh right, yeah, I'm beginning to
You,
forget about it.
yeah.
It's which is good.
I mean, I think the one thing that Nostr is so good for is not pulling me back
Mm.
to social media every 5 minutes. Like I just never feel compelled. Like I'll use it, I'll be able to get some content out, have a
Mm.
quick skim down most recent posts, and I'm done in 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that was
Yeah.
actually really good. That was quite interesting content. And then I'm good. I don't feel the dopamine hit that I need to come back again in 10 minutes. And so that's been
Mm.
amazing. That's one of the things I love about Nostr. But yeah, very nice viral
I
moment for you this week.
no, it was good. Like
Well done.
it was interesting because we have these different captains every week at Software Engineering, and the one this week was just like, right, we need to like, we keep building all this stuff. It's really good. It's really exciting when you're here. Nobody knows anything about what we're doing, so we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
And one of the things you can do is you can just make videos of stuff, voiceover, like a little clip in the corner. We should do that. And then we
Mhm.
should tell people that this stuff exists. And then other people know it exists. And then they'll use it. So, okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So I think I already had the payment
And for
demo
anyone,
done. Like I had my whole onboarding and payment thing that I think I'd sent you. And I was like, I'll cut this down. So it's just
yeah.
the key moment. The hook is it's Lightning payments and Bitcoin inside WhatsApp, and I'll just ignore my urge to tell you like the five other things that I think are even cooler than that. But I'll just tease it
Yeah.
and just say like, okay, there's one single hook, which
I
is
think,
now we can put Bitcoin into WhatsApp and we don't have to ask, and then we can do it anywhere. It's good.
yeah. I think seeing it as well, like visually occurring inside of WhatsApp,
Yeah.
that was a moment. Like when I first watched it, I was just like, oh, holy shit. Like that looks
It looks
so
nice to
clean
be.
and
Like,
very
I'll probably
cool.
do the onboarding. Maybe I'll record the onboarding one later because I've just rebuilt that whole thing. So I had to remake the whole gateway architecture for it this week, which I'll tell you about earlier, where it was to make it easier for other
Mm.
networks to join. But there's still a few, what should we say, like loose ends to tie up to make sure it all works really seamlessly across different networks. But yeah, it's quite nice now that you can. There's a very sweet onboarding flow. I've got built a new tool this week that will let me do assign wallets easier as well. So instead of you having to you can bring your own wallet, or you
Hmm.
can just get one generated on the fly. So something like that, I think, would be pretty useful
Nice.
as well. So that the onboarding would just be, do you have a wallet? No, here's a wallet. Right, Brain's going to be in touch. Brain gets in touch, and you're like, wow. Okay, all I did was say hello, and that's the onboarding process. And now I've
Yeah.
got a bank. Like, what the fuck? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, so I think that'll be sweet. Then we can just harden it up a little bit, and then maybe just get it in the field with some
I,
prototyping.
th
But
I was going to say, I think the other thing is like, obviously that one post went viral, but I would just be chopping up a heap of content and pushing that out on both obviously Primal, but also Twitter. I think it's just so
yeah,
important that we need to just get that out there, get people talking about it,
yeah. I
build
mean,
that
it just
buzz.
takes time, right? You got to think about. Because even like that video last week, like, I already had a video, and then it was a case of like, all right, I need to
Yeah,
put the well this week, sorry, but it was I already had the video recorded, and then I was like, all right, well, I need to sit here and cut it down, and then I need to figure out like and then I had to record.
yeah, true.
It's ducked out into this like little basement kitchen type thing. Just recorded like a few versions of the voiceover. He's like, it's not perfect. It's good. It's good enough. Like it's fine. Like let's go. Get it out there. It's just
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't think it needs to be that
But
polished,
the point is, like,
really.
it's not polished. It
I
still
think
takes like an hour or two, and then you're like,
it's
okay,
still
well,
time
and
consuming.
that's the most obvious one. And then you're like, right, well, if you're thinking about, okay, well, I'll have like 10 of these. Like, okay, well, what are the different hooks? How do I
Yeah,
get the right video? Like, they all just take time. And at the moment, I've just been on like a constant treadmill of like every week is you've got to do something new. And all right, I'll do this
that's true. Yeah.
post Etsy. But yeah, we'll get it in.
Well, that's coming
Yeah,
to an end soon, right?
no, this is today.
Is it next
This
week? You
is the
guys are
big last
wrapping?
day.
Oh, it's today.
That's why I said I'll probably have to do a quick one today because I still haven't written my demo. I was I was mobile vibe coding yesterday. I had this great screenshot from Claude where I was just like, I can't see any of this functionality. There's this like little CLI wallet I was testing on my phone. I was like, I can't see any of this functionality. It's not even in the list. Like, what is going on? Like, why? Why is this thing? You just like it? Like nothing's changed. And he was like, yeah, you're right. There's no changes. Like, I didn't actually build any of it. I just built a completely separate standalone demo. That's why it doesn't show up. So yeah, I haven't done this. I haven't connected to your existing wallet. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. Doesn't create any new sub wallets. It doesn't create any of these Nostr wallet connect strings we've been talking about. It doesn't do any of it. In fact, I've just like not done anything. I've been really bad. Like, fuck you. And then I just went to Codex, and it was, almost straight away. It was like, all right, here's the menu item. Okay, this bit doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? This one. And it's like, again, it's like having a pair programmer. But again, once again, like with Codex,
Yeah.
I think the difference is that I just get rid of the thinking mode. It's like I don't let it think. I just say you're on your Codex model thinking mode low. Don't think. I will tell you what to do. I want you to do
Hmm.
that, and I will test it, and then we will iterate. And that works very nicely. Claude,
That's
you
interesting.
can't stop it thinking. It
Yeah,
just fucking goes for it.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I tend to just do the opposite. And it'll obviously
Mm.
sit there and be quite slow and really take its time. I mean, I haven't noticed it kind of going off on one just yet. It's
Yeah.
been really good. But yeah, I've not
I also think it's
experimented with
harder to
that
work with
at
the
all.
thing if it doesn't respond quickly. Just, I don't know, maybe to go back on my earlier point of
Yeah.
saying, like, Claude Code is designed to just run. Like, I don't think that's the
Hmm.
ideal way of doing these things. I think you should treat them like little hackathon sessions. It's like, it's every time you sit down at the computer to build something, it should be like, we've got the pizza in and we're just going to do this like right now. We're going to make this one change, then we're going to test it. We're going to see it there, and then we're going to do it again and again and again. You get such good momentum, but also like like as a product manager, you've got so much more intuition about what has been built, how it's been built, like exactly where the code is, without having to go through and like review a bunch of code and figure it out after the fact. You just dictate it as you go, and that works really nicely. I find it's been my way of working when I need
Yeah,
to
that's
actually get something done.
interesting.
There's also just the vibe coding, shitting out and out as a quick demo, which is good. So I also managed to create another
Yeah.
couple of levels tied on field as well. So now we have skydiving cows, and we have like the man can get power ups on
Nice.
different levels, and there's like one he gets laser eyes and he shoots the cows out of existence, and they come back like a couple of seconds later. It's good. It's very playable. Got a couple of young
I
play
liked the
testers helping
demo.
me out
Yeah.
with ideas.
The leaderboard was pretty hectic. The
Yeah,
numbers on the
well,
leaderboard are pretty
there's a
crazy.
couple of people just vying for success. Well, I've got almost.
Just loving it.
It's not
Yeah.
working yet, so I need to test and debug. But there's like a Nippo 7 integration, so then you can bring your own Nostr pub key, and then once you do that, then you can
Hmm.
sort of keep the same session over multiple days, and you can start to chip away and build your position on the leaderboard. I'll come back to it because. So I think the top two people on the leaderboard at the moment are me and Jesus, and I think we've both burnt our keys. I think number 3 is Gigi. I think he's also burned his keys. And you burn your keys by refreshing or closing the browser. So it's like like everyone's going to start again every few days. But I reckon it'll be I think people might be willing to put a bit more into it with the browser login, but oh,
Yeah, completely. There's a good. I think we talked about this in more detail last week. Maybe was it last week's episode or the week? I don't think it was the week before because that was Jeff. But yeah, so we've touched on a bunch of like different topics in this episode where we've like actually gone into more detail in the past. So I think for Beacon that was last week. So if anyone wants to dive into that in more detail, Pete does a deep dive in
yeah,
episode 25. Did we also talk about Retired in a Field in
I
25?
don't know.
Maybe
It's
we
just like a
did.
fun
Not sure.
game. I mean, yeah. So
It's a bit of
I
a
mean, the
blur,
idea
but it's there.
it was a fun
Go
game.
check it
It was
out.
done, deliberately to learn two different concepts, being like how do you
Yeah.
do multi jurisdiction or multi hosting environments seamlessly inside one app. So you have one app, but the app itself runs in two completely separate places, and neither of those places have intimate knowledge about where they're hosted or any network connectivity between them. So can you do that over Nostr? And yes, you can. So, and that was like something I was working towards for Beacon. So it was almost like the last bit that I wanted to make sure I was comfortable with before I went back to Beacon. Because it's very important in Beacon that the brain and the ID server don't know each other. Despite the fact that they come together to deliver one service, they should be two completely different people. And you can be your own ID server, but you don't necessarily need to do all the hard work. So somebody else can do the complex stuff. You can just do the simple stuff and bring it yourself, which I think is just a good pattern for app development in general. It's like bring your own wallet, bring your own database, bring your own identity, bring your own whatever, and then just plug in the different apps. We should have more stuff like this. And it's all there. Like this is the other stuff. This is what it's all about. It's plugging things in. It's not just really a shit posting social network. It's just that bootstraps the identity. It's a good first use case, but the other stuff is very interesting. There's going to be a lot of good stuff coming out of it.
Very good. How are the other what are the other demos like that you're seeing over
There's
there?
some pretty interesting stuff. Like, I mean, I'm a big fan of the context VM stuff that I keep talking about, mainly because I'm probably one of the like heavy users of it currently. Like, Beacon's got, I think at least about 4 context VM servers running in it, like that, inside one app. So that's been good. There's some interesting stuff around like search. So GG had a very good search system called Ants that he'd put together that was just like everything was semantic searches where you do a search and then like anything you can click on then triggers a new search, find stuff really nicely. Like there's been a bunch of work around how you can make everything local first. So the idea would be like inside your browser you have a relay, or inside your desktop, every computer, whatever, comes with its own relay, and then that has like the local version of all your events. So you've automatically got, like whatever your last snapshot of Twitter was, like you get in a plane, you've got the whole thing. And you can interact with everything. You can do zaps, you can do whatever, and then we just rebroadcast stuff when it comes out. Just take advantage of that, like local first setup. But there's a few infrastructure pieces to do just to make it work smoothly. But that's all getting built out as well. There's some really interesting stuff around sort of DNS things. So like how can we start to remove sort of DNS and IP as being like a centralized like naming authority for who gets to have websites and who doesn't. Like how can we just route based on public keys? Things like that going to be very powerful. It just means you could have one service, and that service could be anywhere in the world. It could move around the world, do whatever, and you'd know where it is from its pub key and its reputation. Which would be pretty cool. But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that's just very cool. This game worked on, which is it's nice. But it's people that like, you
Very
pay
nice.
for various servers on demand. So you do, you can just send like a Nostr request with a cashew note in it, and it'll spin up a server for you, somebody else's infrastructure. So people being able to then sell their unused resources as kind of like a private cloud for people to say, like, all right, you pay this. You don't know where I am in the world, but you give me money, I'll give you 10 seconds of server time. And then we can just keep going, just keep refreshing it as you go.
Mm.
So stuff like that would be
Yeah.
interesting. Another guy's done a lot of work
Damn.
on like location based stuff. So looking at how we can get all the different like real time streams of information and pull them all into public maps. So you could have like a, I think he showed us it was like the Finnish, the Norwegian, I can't remember exactly where it was. It's like one of the transport authorities would stream all the things. It just pulls up a Nostr map, and then you look at it and you see all the trains moving around like in the city and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
interesting. And
that's
then you
cool.
can do location sharing or private location sharing. So I definitely, I think there'll be out this week around like private location, like location mapping, like in offline systems. So it would be in BitChat. You could share stuff over an offline Bluetooth mesh that says like, this is happening over here, this is happening over there. So if you're in like, because a lot of people have picked up BitChat for like protest type situations in Burma, Thailand, various places.
Yeah.
So that would be very cool for that sort of use case. Be able to share information amongst the crowd. It's the mesh. It's interesting. So it's just a lot of like really cool hacking going on. See, be interesting to see what everybody comes to
Yeah.
today. Yeah. How about you?
Nice. Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's been a very nice 4 or 5 weeks. So it's probably been a
This week
bit
six.
longer even
So
maybe
6 weeks.
with
Yeah.
week 6. There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. How about
Nice.
yourself?
Very good. Well, aside
Hmm.
from doing all sorts of no, non-coding work and um, doing a bunch of investing, which you can also go back and listen to Jeff Booth chastise me for not just buying Bitcoin in episode 20. Was it 24? I think it was 24. Um, so there's that. I have essentially built up
Hmm.
an e-commerce site the last couple of days for us because we obviously, I think we talked about this in the past as well, it's not having merch for other stuff but actually like building it out as its own like kind of standalone brand. It kind of taps into some of this like AI nerdism, but so that's called Supply Drop. And yeah, I finally learned just why everyone uses Shopify for e-commerce. Like it does it does save a hell of a lot of time, effort, and energy, but it's been fun as an exercise to just kind of build out all the infrastructure for an e-commerce site. So that's getting there. Um, there's a good bit of learning in there too. So just doing something different. I think I was quite keen to just see how far you could get with some more technical website builds as well with Claude Code. I started that one with Claude Code and I'm finishing it with Codex. So that's quite good. And that all runs off of like a um, third party manufacturer and distributor. So it's just API calls to them, and the admin dashboard just populates with that information, feeds it through to the front end, through to the web store, and yeah, so we don't actually have to do anything, capture any payments, or yeah, it's quite handy. So I did that. I kept working on the pod graph as well because I think that's just like something I'd like to better understand. So and also this is an exercise that Claude Code's quite good at, is taking all of that disparate information and then building out the JSON files, tracking all the entities and relationships from each of the podcast episode transcripts. So that's been coming together. I feel like there's a process there that needs to be thought through a little bit more and expanded upon so I can actually provide like a better, almost like a better system prompt to figure out like how you create the optimal JSON based on a podcast transcript. Because I feel like it's a little hit and miss at the moment from episode to episode. The continuity isn't quite there yet. So that's been an interesting exercise. And ultimately, I'd just like to get that to a point where I can have a conversation with the pod. Because we do tend to surface, um, I guess, themes, and a lot of those themes are recurrent, and we'll add context to them, or we'll change our ideas or our philosophies a little bit, or they'll evolve over time. And, if you haven't necessarily caught an early episode, but caught the most recent one, it'd be an interesting exercise to go through with an agent and track the path back to how we got to a certain position or philosophy. So that's the thinking behind it. And if I can get that to live on the web, that would be kind of cool. So, but it's really just an excuse to learn how to use graph databases using Neo4j. So that's a bit of fun as well. And then obviously I think we could turn that into like Hypeman V2, which, if anyone remembers from an earlier episode, is just a Twitter bot that takes the transcripts and creates a bunch of tweets and publishes them for me. It's just giving it better context, better memory to work from, and then create better content. Because I'm just terrible at doing this. I'll definitely get into moods where I'm like, yes, I'm going to write some content, and I'll do it. And then a week passes and it's like I haven't done any more. So the continuity from me there isn't quite up to speed. So yeah, there's a few interesting projects like that. But I've definitely got a bit of ADD across like too many different projects. I'm trying to just get a couple to completion at the moment and get them off the desk so I can move on to the
I think
ideas.
We talked about like when you get back in Perth, we should look to set up some workshops around coding agents and non-coding agents. So, like how to vibe code and how to vibe do your taxes, whatever the use cases that hits people. But this is an area that's very powerful, and I just don't think it's that understood.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've seen like all the different vibe coding setups in the last sort of 6 weeks on exactly like what works and how to do it. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of experimentation going on at the moment, trying to break things, trying to get across. Like I started building like a accountability app that I want to use to track habits. And again, that's just because I was like, it'd be cool to just try and figure out how to build an app. I haven't really spent too much time, like a mobile app. I haven't really spent too much time trying to do that. So let's have a play. Spent a lot of time in design docs and ideation because I want to. There's a couple of things I want to track, but I also find like all of the habit trackers just tend to allow you to stack as many habits as you want, and then it's just not. I don't find any of these things actually work particularly well. It's like a bit of a gimmick, bit of a novelty. So I was like, what if I just lock you into one habit? You have to achieve like 30 odd days or something. I was trying to figure out exactly what the optimal amount of time is.
I think they say 20. I think it's 21 days.
And it kind of turns out it depends. 21 days is what I was reading, yeah.
21.
I think 21, exactly. It's a good number. So I was thinking like I would build it around this. So depending on how well the habit sticks after 21 days, that will unlock whether or not you can add additional habits to it. So just looking at like simple ways to gamify it like that and force you to actually do this stuff. But then, building in like an accountability buddy into it, which is just AI that is tracking this stuff and getting to know you and giving you feedback. So that's again like another little
rabbit hole,
little side quest. There's lots of side questing. Yeah, I know it's problematic. It is actually starting to feel like I've got a problem.
Not side quest. Just need to have it out. You just need this one side quest, and then you can stop side questing.
Exactly. Yeah. Stop me side questing. That's the habit.
Well, I'm gonna have to finish this demo, so I've got something to stand up with.
That's pretty good.
But I will. Let's leave it there. That's the good stuff.
Solid.